What's up everybody, Chris Blevins here. Welcome back to the channel. It's early January, just after New Year's. Happy New Year to everyone. Whether it's your first yellowtail, your personal best fish, or maybe it's just your first time getting out on the kayak, hopefully this year in 2022 you're gonna make it happen. Hopefully this channel is gonna help you get it done. Over the years I've had so many people tell me that my channel helped them catch their first yellowtail, or help them catch like their biggest fish, or just so many cool stories from subscribers. So thanks again to everyone, and wish you the best in the new year. We're out here in La Jolla again. Had a little bit of a late launch, probably around 9 or 10 o'clock, and I'm kind of lurking out here on the edge of the canyon in some deep water. I'm seeing lots of bait clouded up on the bottom. I've been able to make some greenbacks here off these deep clouds with my sabiki, jigging it all, making bait all the way out to like 160, 190 feet of water on the bottom. Yeah, sometimes in the wintertime in the cold, you gotta look a little deeper for the bait. Right now I'm seeing a ton of clouds of scattered marks on the bottom, and I'm also seeing some whales here on the outside that are kind of looks like they're feeding. I'm seeing probably like 3 or 4 whales in that pod, and they're just breathing up, breathing up aggressively and spouting on the surface for a couple minutes, and then they're gone for like 10 minutes at a time. But yeah, right now I'm just drifting through this area here, and I got some nice scattered bait on the bottom. Yeah, I've also seen a few interesting boils up on the surface. Looked like it might have been some fish rolling around, or couldn't tell you what it was. I'm pretty sure it wasn't mammals though. I haven't had many mammals around me. So yeah, we got some nice bait marks. I got good greenbacks. I got one dragging on a Carolina rig. I'm gonna keep fishing this and see if I can. I'm kind of still looking for that surface sign that I was just seeing a little bit ago. But again, we're still way inside by the reserve line. Way inside, so I got plenty of room. I'm gonna move out to the west probably and check out areas closer out to the corner. But as I was coming over here, I saw some good bait and plenty of birds pecking around. Anyway, let's keep moving around, see if we can find any better action. All right, guys, as I'm trolling around here, I'm kind of slowly working my Carolina rig and keeping it close to the bottom, trying to stay near these bait marks that I've been seeing. My mackerel's been getting a little nervous, let's say, but I haven't had any bites. I'm gonna try something new today. Try something that we haven't done on the channel before. I'm gonna answer a few of your guys' questions from the comments here in live. So I guess it's kind of like a ask me anything segment. I'm gonna let me take a look at my phone here, and I'm gonna pull up some of the most recent comments and see if I can give you some somewhat quick answers. Get through a few of them if I can. So let's see. The first comment comes from Gus Torres. Did you have any issues having to upgrade the transducer or with the SD card? That's what I'm seeing on comments. All right, Gus, I think what you're talking about is the software upgrade for your sonar, because you're talking about any issues having to upgrade the transducer or with the SD card. If you're talking about upgrading the transducer, yeah, you should be able to just plug in a different transducer with your existing sonar and it should work fine. You may want to reset to factory default settings on your sonar settings when you do that, but you should be able to go into the settings and select the transducer that you have, and it should work pretty well. If you're talking about a software update, then I wouldn't recommend using the SD card. What I did to do my software upgrades is I just turn on the fishfinder when I'm within range of my home Wi-Fi router, and then you can update that way by connecting your fishfinder directly to your home Wi-Fi. And I find that I think you can even do it if you pair your phone. If you have data turned on and you pair your phone with the Wi-Fi on your fishfinder, then I think you can do the software update through the mobile app. So try that. Let me know if that works, Gus. All right, next comment comes from Robert Locke. Thank you for your continued excellence. Always love your episodes. Been at it lots. A few big knockdowns, black sea bass and sharks. No prize yellows or white sea bass in winter yet. Muchos gracias. De nada, amigo. yeah, sounds like you're doing all the right things. If you're getting bit by black sea bass, typically, you know, you got to count on the fact that those fish are usually swimming together, and especially if they're hunting, bait fish, mackerel, squid, whatever they're biting. Plenty of times you'll be catching, when you're in the middle of a wide open yellowtail bite, you'll get black sea bass mixed in. And if you watch some of the video on Greg Andrews' channel, you'll see that those the white sea bass, the black sea bass, and the yellowtail are usually always swimming together, honestly. So if you're catching blacks, you're probably in a good zone. Obviously it is illegal to target the black sea bass, but if you're landing any of those blacks, by the time you actually hook up on a yellow, it's gonna feel like nothing. If you're able to land those blacks and safely release them, but when you hook a yellow, it feels like the first 3 minutes of a fight with a black, and then they more or less just come up with like solid head shakes. So keep at it. Yeah, Robert, man, keep at it and keep dialing in those skills. Make sure your knots are holding on those big sharks and black sea bass, and when you get the right bite, you're for sure gonna land that good one. So stick with it. Have your gaff ready. Next comment comes from Moon Chung. Great video. I've been wondering what to wear or how to stay dry when I beach launch. You will always get a little wet, and I was wondering if it's okay to wear waders. It's a good idea to have them and then just take them off once you get past the waves. Yes, waders work great. I use them year round. Even in the middle of summer when it's warm, I will wear them. But I will say, if you're fishing in, say, Northern California or maybe Oregon or Washington, anywhere where the water temps are getting like, you know, low 50s, 40s, or even 30s, or if you have pretty rough weather, I would recommend you check out a Farmer John wetsuit rather than waders. Yeah, I think as long as you're using a PFD, waders are totally fine, totally safe to use. A lot of people in colder environments will recommend a Farmer John wetsuit. So in those places where you know it's rough, or you know it's really cold, where hypothermia could be an issue, then be sure to dress for immersion. For us, you know, you could get hypothermia even in 70-degree water, but in the water that we're in, you know, waders are perfectly fine. They're perfectly safe, despite what all the haters in the comments might say. All right, the next comment is from Tonito619. What avet are you using, and what axis rod? Let's take a look. That is Axis HAX 820 medium heavy, and 8.2, rated 20 to 45, and the avet is a MXJ 5.8 to 1 gold, and that's got 80-pound braid on it. So there you go, that's the avet and the axis that I'm using here. Love Phoenix rods, by the way. All right, next comment comes from Rider118. Nice vid, Chris. I was out there yesterday, super sunny and calm. Found a nice whitefish spot. I'm surprised I was the only kayaker in sight at times. Wanted to know if you ever do guided trips out there. I have all my own gear, thanks. Yeah, thanks for the comment, Ryder. Unfortunately, no, I'm not doing any guiding right now. I get a lot of people asking to see if I'm doing guiding. Perhaps one day down the line, maybe I end up getting my commercial license and getting bonded to be able to do some kayak guiding, but right now, no. These videos are about the best you're gonna get out of me. Maybe one day I can quit my job and start fishing full-time and just make YouTube videos full-time and do guiding. But as of right now, the career is paying a little bit better than the YouTube and kayak guiding game. But hey, you never know, man. It could be a really cool future. Why don't you guys keep encouraging me in the comments and make it happen. Hey, if you guys want me to quit my job, you know, I'll start taking super chats or whatever. If you guys want to sponsor me so I can quit my job, we can make that happen. But for now, I'm just gonna keep working and making these videos for you guys when I get a chance. So I hope you like it. All right, next comment is from Julian Jones. Julian says, the high def is much better. It separates you from the crowd, especially on the iPad and widescreen. Yeah, so thanks to everyone who commented back. I had a ton of comments on the question from the last video about whether or not I was worth it to upload 4K. And you know, the majority of the feedback that I got was stick to 1080p. If it can make the file management much easier and easier for me to upload more frequently. I think most of you would like to see more content coming out for my channel, rather than like focusing on like really high def content. But there were also other people who mentioned things like the YouTube algorithm will suggest my content to more people if it's uploaded in high def, and also other people who, you know, watch on TV or on iPads or larger devices, then you know, they could probably appreciate that high def more. So I think what I'm going to do is stick to a compromise. I'm going to shoot in 2.7K at 60 frames a second settings on the GoPro, and that is also, usually I'm in the super view, although I will shoot in linear as well, depending on what kind of video we're taking. But yeah, thanks for everyone's feedback on that content. Thanks for everyone's feedback on that comment, not just you, Julian. Yeah, I think I like to try to get as high quality content as I can. So I think I'm going to stick to the 2.7, which hopefully is slightly better than 1080, but still not quite as cumbersome as formatting all the way up to 4K with that codec. So we'll and with regards to the volume of content, you know, it's been tough for me to even get a video out per month, but I'm gonna try to stay consistent and keep uploading videos throughout the year, even if it's only a few per year. It seems like you guys really appreciate it and keep it going. And again, if you want to encourage me to quit my job, feel free to drop it below in the comments and let me know. You can send me some Bitcoin. I'll send you my wallet address. All right, next comment comes from Charles Roberts. What fish finder would you recommend for fishing in rivers? I probably river fishing is where I have the least amount of experience, but I'm gonna assume, I probably shouldn't assume much about your river. I think if you're fishing a large, slow moving river that's really shallow and maybe has like submerged trees or brush line structures, rocky river, you're gonna want something that has some structure scan frequencies. So you probably want 200 kilohertz as your lowest frequency, and you probably want to have like 455, 800 kilohertz, or even up to megahertz frequency structure scan in a river. So I can't really recommend a fish finder, but I'm sure an entry-level fish finder with those fish finder settings with those transducer frequencies will probably work the best for you in the river. You probably want to focus on that structure scan and high frequency broadband, so 200 kilohertz. So yeah, check that out, see if you can find something that works, or maybe someone else can leave a comment answering, someone that has maybe more experience fishing in rivers. If you want to, if it's a deep rocky river, or like, I don't know if there's that deeper rivers in the world or in the US, but the 83 kilohertz or 50 kilohertz fish finder is what really works the best for us in this deeper water, where we're frequently fishing in water 100 feet or more. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of information that you need. But yeah, let us know what you ended up getting and if it was working for you in the river. All right, next question comes from Joe's Addictions. In what circumstances would you use the dropper loop over the Carolina rig and vice versa? Kind of a lot of different ways to answer that question. Sometimes it just depends on like what kind of mood I'm in. Definitely, if I am seeing solid marks of fish swimming through on the bottom in deeper water, I'm probably going to want to focus on my dropper loop, because I will be able to drop it faster and fish it vertically straight up and down on those marks. Whereas if say I'm metering some fish but they're not tight on the bottom, or they're not in big school and they're kind of scattered in the water column, or maybe I'm just seeing bait that's like kind of spooked, or bait that is getting walled off in like mid column, I'll want to use the Carolina rig then because I'm kind of more of searching around. So that would be like trying to cover a little more ground. Like I can pedal around at like 1.5 miles per hour with the Carolina rig, and it'll stay pretty well down in the water column, as opposed to dropper loop. You can't really troll faster than like 0.5 mile an hour to 1 mile per hour and keep it on the bottom. So I guess simple answer is the speed that you want to go at, but in terms of practical application, Carolina rig is usually when I'm looking around more for bait. I'm looking around for action. I'm kind of on the move, as opposed to a dropper loop is where I'm specifically targeting trying to drop it on the heads of fish in a school, or tight wads of bait, or super deep where I need it to get down quick. So hopefully that answers your question. And there's plenty of times where you can fish a Carolina rig and a dropper loop together. In that case, you just want to have the dropper loop way back out the back, at like, you know, back dragging in the sand way behind your boat, and then you want to keep the dropper loop straight up and down, otherwise they'll get tangled. So you can try fishing them both together at the same time. But I usually recommend for people who are just starting out, or still looking to get your first yellowtail, focus on one pole at a time and make sure you're constantly changing that bait, checking it, make sure it's good, rather than two, because when you have two out, it makes it harder to constantly check it. It makes it harder for you to tell if it's swimming correctly, or if you still have a good bait on there. And it also, if it does get bit, if you get double hooked up and you're not ready for it, it could end up pretty badly. Like you could flip, or you could like break your gear or lose your poles, or worse. Yeah, probably some of you have some experience with fishing 2 poles at once and getting totally clustered. So maybe leave us a comment if you've experienced that before. But yeah, one of the ways you can do it is with a dropper loop and a Carolina rig. So try that. All right, next question comes from Tamalpais. Chris, do you have a recommendation for a fish finder if my budget is $1,000? I currently have a 5-inch Lowrance system that is okay. Yeah, if you go up to Elite Live, I think the new one's called Elite Live, isn't it? Or whatever the newest Elite 7-inch, which is like just below an HDS. But if you have $1,000, you can probably get an HDS 7. If you want to stick with Lowrance, which, you know, you can. I'm not going to say that you should stick with Lowrance. I've had my issues with my Lowrance over the years. My biggest gripe with my Lowrance is that the power supply cables are just complete garbage, and start having contact issues with the red plug on the Lowrance units. But I mean, I suppose like part of kayak fishing is just dealing with corrosion and crap breaking all the time. But usually I'm replacing those power supplies on my Lowrance unit about every year, just because they get corroded. But aside from that, Lowrance has been great. I've stuck with them for a while. I may consider switching over to Garmin for my next fish finder purchase. I heard lots of good things about it, so maybe check out a similarly priced Garmin. I think it's the Echo Map is the model size, and you know, Humminbird has some really nice stuff too. I've seen some of their stuff on freshwater that is, you know, some really top-notch stuff. I do think that for kayak fishing, you don't want to go too much. Like $1,000 probably about the max that you want to spend for something you're going to bring out here in La Jolla and have out in the waves and out here in this little rougher conditions. But yeah, if your kayak will allow you to have the side scan transducer, then you can get, I think it's the total scan or whatever the giant transducer is that has all the structure scan and side scan features. You can get that if you want. I don't think it's really that necessary for fishing La Jolla, and mostly you're going to want to look down. But if you do have a Hobie that has the Guardian system, you can deploy that side scan transducer, and that could be pretty cool to have. I haven't fished with that on kayak before, but I've messed around with it on people's boats, and it's pretty sweet. So yeah, just I would say if you could get the HDS 7-inch, just with the 5200 kilohertz transducer without the side scan transducer, you could probably get it for under $1,000. Yeah, once you get up to that $1,000 price point, you're getting into some nicer gear. Just again, I have a preference against Raymarine. I had some bad experiences with my Dragonfly when I had that, and I know that they discontinued that model. But a lot of the Raymarine units don't have 83 or 50 kilohertz or 73 kilohertz, which means you should probably stay away from those if you're going to be fishing La Jolla. So yeah, that's my opinion on $1,000 fish finder. All right, I hope you guys like this Q&A style of video. Tell you the truth, I've been fishing a decent amount, but we've had some bad weather for the past 2 or 3 weeks, so I've not been on the water at all, and the times where I have gone, I have not been catching. It's just been a little tough to upload weekly, but I'll try to upload at least once a month. Anyway, I'm gonna keep working this area here for a little bit. I've been dragging this Carolina rig for a while. I could still see my mackerel has good head shakes and he's still swimming on there happy. Keep metering around. I've been seeing some really nice bait marks. Have not seen many marks that look like fish, but I'm gonna keep looking around here for another hour or two. We'll see if I check in with you guys later, if I end up getting a bite or if anything happens here. Otherwise, thanks again for watching. Hope you guys liked this video. Feel free to leave me a comment, leave me a like, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Thanks again, everybody, and we will see you at the launch. Something on. It's a yellow. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Woohoo! Hell yeah. What? Yes. Home guard. This thing is sick. Oh, fuck. Oh, shit. Oh my gosh, how crazy was that? Woo! Well, I thought I had wrapped up the video and had signed off for the video. It turns out I found a really good zone with a ton of birds, ton of bait, and the birds were working hard. I was seeing good marks. Turns out there was a big school of yellowtail on the bottom. So I ended up dropping my dropper loop like right on top of their heads. I had it just ready to drop, 12-ounce torpedo, dropped it right on their heads, instantly bit. Hopefully I got the bite on video. But dude, oh, how gnarly was that? It looks like it might be 30 pounds. I'll weigh it when I get home. Well, hopefully you guys liked that video answering your questions. We'll see you at the launch.